with Grin. I'm here with Gear Masters, and we're gonna show you our rig today. It's a little loud in Chicago House of Blues, but we're gonna put it together and run place to place. This is my Aristides 080S. It's a gorgeous guitar made with an Arium body, so it's not actually any wood whatsoever, but it's this composite that they've put together that's supposed to be tonally perfect. It's incredible, it's easy to color, it works with pretty much whatever I send it through, and it's an amazing feeling and sounding guitar, and a really incredible body and profile for an 8-string. So the reason I came upon Aristides, I mainly endorse Ernie Ball, Music Man, and they don't manufacture an 8-string just yet. So I reached out and they gave me the blessing to work with another company, and I did some searching and I came upon Aristides and played one and realized that this is the most incredible feeling 8-string I've played. A lot of people ask if there's certain discrepancies between having a wood body and using this Arium composite, but honestly I've had nothing but a good experience. It colors perfectly, it sounds incredible, I can have it totally neutral, I can make it sound however I want really. I have no complaints with it whatsoever. It's the coolest 8-string I've played, the best feeling for sure. We've got it filled with bare knuckles here. I use Ernie Ball strings, 74 gauge to 10 gauge. And then I keep everything rolled all the way up. And between my bridge and neck pickup, usually in our 8-string songs I stick toward the neck. Just has a better sound for what I'm going for. The tuning on this is drop E, so I've got standard E with the standard low B and then a drop E string. I use this for anything in drop E, which is a few songs throughout the set. Our newer material is incorporating it a bit more, and I think in the future we'll incorporate it more and more into our music, just for all the options. It's a versatile instrument, and having the extra register is really handy. This is my Music Man JP13. It's an interesting build actually. I've got it in a root beer finish here with a maple neck. Interesting build in the sense that it's got a JP15 neck. JP15 necks are made with maple, and so they had this roasted bird's eye neck available, and so we said, you know what, this is going to look gorgeous, feel gorgeous, and sound gorgeous with this guitar. So we put the 13 body with the 15 neck, and it's been incredible. It's got a really nice bright sound to it. On this I keep in drop G, so I've got 62 gauge to 10 gauge, and we use this for most of the set, most of the writing, drop G that is, and it's a gnarly guitar. I love the way it sounds, I love the way it feels. It's got DiMarzio illuminators in there, which is an active pickup, and it just rips. It sings, it screams, it's got every sound, and they hold up amazingly on tour. Well, I keep everything dialed all the way up. I don't roll back on my volume or tone or anything. And then the pickups are DiMarzio illuminators. I use the bar quite a bit actually, and Music Man has an incredible floating bridge system here where the only lock is here in the strings, but my guitar stays perfectly in tune. It doesn't sink or raise nearly as much as I've experienced with other bridges. They've really done something badass with this bridge here. So this is our full live setup all in this rack here. I'll start at the top. So the laptop, like I said, is what we run our tracks off of. It's basically a stereo track, so you're getting a left and right side, so you get the full spectrum of panning and whatnot live. We have a click track that we all play to, so that we stay on time with each other. 808s, so obviously the bass drops, if you will. We have the guitar track, so the backing guitar, and then we have our patch changes here. And each of these little patch changes, there's tons of them here, signals a different change, which sends to David or I's Axe effects through these MIDI controllers here. So out of this, out of this into the MIDI controller, out of the MIDI controller into our Axe effects. So it knows to switch these patches. So basically, if I'm coming up on a solo, I don't have to step on anything. The computer cues it to my solo patch, which it's really convenient for me. There's no tap dancing. I can be wherever I want on the stage at any time and not have to worry about it. I think having these MIDI patch changes really helps us to focus on the performance and give it the best that we can, make it better for everybody, fans included, because we're not running around having to divert our attention elsewhere. Even something so small as tapping on your pedal board, you have to be in a certain place at a certain time. You're not really invested as much in other places that we would like to be invested in. So I think it benefits the show for everybody. So again, top to bottom, this is our X32 rack console. It's basically the board that mixes our in-ears. Having in-ears makes it really easy for us to stay in sync. We hear ourselves really well. Everything is basically super crystal clear right in our ears, which tightens us up a lot and allows us to put on, again, a better performance. The next thing down is our interface. We use Persona's Fire Studio project. We run our laptop into that, and then it converts down here in this DI. So we take all these digital channels and convert them to DI here, send them via this loom to our splitter. We'll get to the splitter in a minute, but then we have our trigger module here for Pablo's kick trigger. Power conditioner, obviously, just power this all up. These two are our MIDI sports by M Audio, and that's what sends the MIDI signal to our Axe effects to change. And then from here on out, we have wireless combiners. So you see here we have a ton of wireless, but instead of having a separate antenna for each of these and a separate power supply for each of these, we put all of the in-ears on one, and then we put all the guitars on the other. So it's one antenna for everything, one power supply for everything. Really cleans it up in the back of the rack. And then of course we have the Axe effects. I'm running the Axe effects 2 XL Plus. David's on his Ultra, and we've found that the sounds we've gotten, it's kind of like an if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of situation. We love the way they sound. It's actually rips for bass. It sounds scary, you know. And I really love Axe effects because of the ability to build a tone from the ground up. You can get so nitty gritty with it and get really detailed. So it's worked for us for such a long time. And I think it's a really big part of our sound. And then of course we have our splitter. What that does is it literally splits a signal 2 ways or 3 ways or however you want to go. Every one of these is a channel we send. This is kick drum, snare top, snare bottom, hi-hat, tom 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. That way, out of the back of this, we send tails to front of house so that you can get it through the PA. And then we send tails into our X32 so that we can get every channel in our in-ears. That allows us to mix everything exactly how we want it. If I need more kick drum one day, I turn it up a little bit. If I need less me, or whatever I need, I can adjust it really easily, even just on my iPhone. So, yeah, that's basically how our rig works. It looks like a lot, but it is really simple. We wheel this thing in every day, we plug it in, we turn it on, and we're good to go. Again, we're Chelsea Grin. We have a new record called Eternal Nightmare that came out on July 13th. We're going to be supporting that record, headlining May through June in North America. If you guys want to come out, we'll have VIPs available as well. Other than that, we just want to thank everybody that endorses us. Ernie Ball, Music Man, Pablo plays DW drums, Zildjian, and Remo, Vic Firth, so on and so forth. I mean, we've got a lot of people to thank, and we're really grateful for everybody that keeps us going out here.